just looking at the changes to isolation, as you say, modifying them, um, does this not present on face value a risk that, but is this another calculated risk as we see that the epidemiology says that this is a good idea to do now, or at least safe enough to do now?
I mean, the question is really relevant because it's a calculated risk. So it's not to say that, well, there's no problem anymore and the virus has changed, not at all. And the virus is still really contagious. But it seems that the level of contagiosity, even though it's still present in the community, allow us to change those patterns of isolation for cases that, for persons that have been in contact with cases in their own uh, domicile or home or place where they live. It's not that we suggest them that there's no problem and that there's no isolation. No, no, no. They have to get to be isolated, but differently. They do not need to stay at home. They can walk outside. They can do the things they had to do. They can work, as long as it is not in a place that it's really contagious for others. And please, they have to wear the mask every time they get out of home, and they have to be very careful with that and follow themselves to see if they are going to have any symptoms. Of course, when they have symptoms, please get isolated for real at home, being tested, and check if there's not other problems that need to be treated in an hospital.
Could you just clarify then exactly what is going to happen on Saturday for people in the same household who may have come in contact with someone who has COVID-19? The freedoms that they have, they don't have to isolate, they have to wear their mask when they go out, but do they essentially have the same freedoms as anyone else except they have to wear the mask? Is that really the only difference?
Yep. Yeah, so the persons that would be in contact in their own base with a person that has the COVID-19, that have the COVID-19, have to be very careful for themselves, of course, of developing the disease. But they can do they do not have to be isolated at home. They can walk outside, get at work, and do things. And in particular, I mean, they have to wear the mask, of course, and they have to be careful not to get rid of the mask in any situation that would need it to be, like in a bar or in a restaurant, or to restrain themselves to be mostly at home or do their things if they wish, and mostly if they are vaccinated and fully vaccinated, or if they would have been in contact with the Omicron in the last few weeks or the last 2 months. But for those that would not have been in contact at all with the virus so far or being immune, their risk of developing the disease is seriously higher and really seriously higher compared to increase, I'm sorry, compared to someone that has been vaccinated or had the Omicron infectious disease. So there's a kind of responsibility, personal responsibility related to those level of risk. But globally, they don't need to get isolated, most of them, because they will have been vaccinated and have had the experience of Omicron. Maybe my colleague would express it more clearly in English than I. But,
For sure. We also recommend that they avoid visiting their grandparents or people that are sick, suffering from cancer for 10 days.
Oh, okay, but just a follow-up on that, though. So, because right now, people still have to wear their masks, people who don't have any symptoms and been vaccinated. So what exactly is the difference if you've been in contact with someone who has COVID? Because you still have to wear your mask. The public still has to wear their masks as of this weekend. So where's the real difference here?
Well, there's a difference in the sense that we recommend that they don't go to restaurants or bar visiting old people. And in a few weeks, there will be no more mask in the public spaces, but we will still recommend for the contacts to wear a mask for 10 days, even if the mask is not mandatory in the public spaces.